Hello, students. I would like to welcome you at the page of Shikhavati International Academy, and I hope you all are doing well. This is Manoj Kumar, and today this video is class for ninth, and we have taken a one chapter from the book BEEHIVE. This is the first chapter, and the name of the chapter is The Fun They Had. So, before starting the chapter, my dear students, I want to drag your attention towards the futuristic classrooms, futuristic schools. How in after 200 years, after 150 years, how would be the gesture, how would be the structure of school or schooling and as well as teaching. Today, we have seen that mostly in many schools and mostly students go to schools and they have a personal teachers over there who teach among the students, and also they have a big gathering of students. This is your own where you are studying. But in the future, suppose if there would be no school, how would be the students the way of learning? We have the chapter on this base. What would be the uh, scene of futuristic schools? So one by one, my dear students, you have to pay and give the your answer, and whatever the thing is going in your imaginary mind, you just tell me mine. So here, the story we shall read is a set in the future when books and schools as we now know, then will perhaps now exist. That will perhaps not exist. How will children study then? The diagram below may give you some ideas. Suppose in future no schools will be there, no books will be there, as we have this book behind. If suppose such type of books where various pages are there and all are printed, suppose if such type of books are not there, notebooks are not there, so what would be the school of future? So here, school of futures will be first, learning through computer. Students will be getting the information through computer. Virtual classroom will be there. What do you mean by virtual classes? You have seen in many movies, especially Iron Man movie, where there is a chip or there is a some remote is there. When the person click it, is virtual kind of picture on the wall seems to be observed, and where it is also the touch screen is as well there, whether you can cross your hand through the picture through the screen, but it's actually a virtual images. So imaginary images where the student can learn. In this book or in this side of diagram, you can see a girl who is studying by virtual classes. Next, in the classroom, what would be there? As we have the books, with books, all the words are printed, they are stable, they don't move from their place, they remain always here. Whether you see after 2 years, after 10 years, after 50 years, all the numbers, all the words will be remain at the same place. And the next, who going to play the role of teacher? Robotic teacher will be there. The human, the man, as we are, we will be not be there, we will be disappear. The only students have the opportunity to study through the robotic teacher who will guide them, who will teach them. And so, my dear students, what do you understand by it? How could you imagine it? It would be beneficial for you. So if that instead of teacher, the robotic teacher will be there, a machine will be there to teach you. Would it be able to understand your emotions as the teacher can understand? How if the robot teacher going to work very fast, very slow, or not working properly? In this condition, what would be your future? What would be your day of future? And there are some good merits are there. then there are demerits also there. So in this chapter is almost on the year of 2150. In this we will come to know that what would be the reaction, how the students like their classes or they dislike their classes. In pair, discuss three things that you like best about your school. You have to discuss with your friends, your colleagues, about three things that you like most in your school, and three things about your school that you would like to change. Write them down. Here, three things which you like and three things you want to change in your school. I would say mostly you students would prefer that as we all have 8 period, we have 7 period, all are busy, all are packed, congested or exhausted by the teachers continuously. Study is going on. There should be 1 and 2 periods should be there for the playing, for the game periods. So definitely students would be have such things which you like to change, or maybe something else you would like to change in your school. Now, have you ever read words on a television for computer screen? Can you imagine a time when all books will be on computers? Can you imagine that there will be no books existing in this place, in this world, and all the things will be printing on the computer? Can you imagine? And there will be no books printed on paper. Would you like such books better? So all the books will be visible in the computer, not in your hands, not in your physically you can touch it. All the books will be appearing in the computer. So you have to go through by it, by internet, by your own internal memory of computer. Then you have to find it and then you have to read it. So it would be easier, or by reading it, that would be easier. So you just write or discuss in your own circle, in your own groups. Now just start this chapter. Before starting this chapter, let me introduce you the time. It is the time as it's 2020 is going on, but here it is almost 157 or almost 150 years advance. We are talking about 2157 year. So here in this chapter there is a girl whose name is Margie and one boy whose name is Tommy. Both are brothers, sisters, and this is the story runs among them. Here, Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary on the page headed 17 May 2157 year. She wrote, "Today Tommy found a real book." So here there is a girl whose name is Margie. She used to write, she loved to write something, whatever new she come across, she just loved to write everything in her diary. And what she write on the page and on the date 17 May 2157 year, she wrote that today Tommy found a real book, that her brother found a real book. It was very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, who said little, pay attention very carefully. Margie, it was a very old book. Margie's grandfather, means Margie's grandfather once he said that when he was a little boy, means Margie's grandfather when he was very little boy, his grandfather, means Margie's grandfather and that grandfather's grandfather, great grandfather, told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. Then the great grandfather told that when there was a time in the past where all the stories were printed in the book. They turned the pages which were yellow and crinkly. Means they who are they? That Tommy and Margie. What they were doing? They were just turning the pages, and they found that these pages were in a yellow color and crinkly with many folds or lines. There were some lines and folds were there in the pages. On the pages, it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving that they were supposed to. Now here, they both were very funny. It was very a matter of fun for them because as they have been continuously studying in their computer, all the words in their printing notebook, in their online notebook, are moving. But now when they open the book, when they open this book, they found that all the words are stable. They are not moving here and there like as it happens in the computer screen. So that's why it becomes a matter of fun for them. On a screen, and then when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read it first time. So when they turn the page after 4 or 5 page, after 10 page, the previous page, the words remain as stable as it was earlier. They not move from here and there. They are just stable. They are just printed on their pages. Now here, the second number line or second number paragraph, what is described about? Gee, said Tommy, means, oh, wait, what a nonsense thing is that? What a waste. When you are through with this book, you just throw it away, I guess. Now, Tommy said that who is I here? The I is Tommy. So, Tommy is saying that when will you touch this? When will you go through by this? You will get bored and you will throw it because it will be very strangeful and very awkward type of object you have holding, so you would think that it is better to throw it away. I guess our television screen must have had a million books on it, and it's a good for plenty more. It wouldn't throw it away. I wouldn't throw it away. So here, there are plenty of books are there. There are many books are there in our computer screen, but I would not throw it. I would keep with me. I would read it. What type of book is it, and how beautiful experience it is. So here, same with mine, said Margie. She was 11 and had not seen as many textbooks as Tommy had. So now, the Margie said, no, I would not throw it. And what about the Margie background and what about the Margie character? She was 11. She was 11-year-old and had not seen many tele books as Tommy had, and he was 13, and the Tommy age was 13-year-old, and his younger sister is Margie. She was 11-year-old. She said, "Where did you find it?" "In my house." He pointed without looking because he was busy reading in the attic. Attic is space just below the roof used as a storeroom. So here Margie asked, "Where did you get this book?" Then Tommy was so busy in reading, so he just pointing out in this direction where the storeroom is there. So he said that he wanted to say that he found this piece of book from storeroom. "Oh, what it about?" Margie asked. And Tommy said, "School." Margie was scornful. School. Scornful means contemptuous, showing you think something is worthless. Means that she was making her face expression that the word school she disliked. School? Margie was scornful. School? What's there to write about school? I hate school. And Margie said that, "What is special writing on the school? I hate school. I do not like school." Margie always hated school. That why Margie hated school, just underline it. But now she hated it more than ever. The mechanical teacher, means my dear student, robotic teacher, had been giving her test after test in geography subject. That there is a let me before starting here, let me pretend, let me stop here or drag your attention somewhere else. Actually, students, uh, the meaning of technical teacher or mechanical teacher means that there was no any school. There is a robotic, there is a robot where every student, every parents has to buy or has to take as a on a rent to teach their children at their home place. That every 24 hours into 7 there is a robotic teacher is available who have a timetable at that period of time. He that the student has to come to take the attendance, and then the rest of the time runs as per the school going on. The only one student is there on one, there is one robotic teacher on one student. So there is a personal room which is totally looks like virtually all the things were related to technology, new technology, advanced technology, computer, speaker, and what could I say? Printer were there. Not printing. There was no any work of printing. Internet was there. Headphone was there. Different mode of resources were there. So such type of school or such type of classroom there was in her own house. So there was a mechanical teacher who had been continuously giving her test after test, test after test of which subject? Geography. And she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. Now, county inspector. What happened? As she was going so much fed up, as she was under the irritation. Why? Because the mechanical teacher was had been giving her test after test, and she was not performing well. Every time she was performing poor and poor, her marks were very low. And at the end, when the mother came to know, when the mother got fed up, then she took her to the county inspector. So, my dear student, what do you mean by county inspector? As when student make mistake, if student performance is not good, or if parents had something, if the parents wants to have conversation with the senior, with the management of the school, then there is a person who is appointed as a principal. So here the same county inspector is also working as a principal, but in future the principal name will be disappear hidden, and who would replace it? The county inspector name would be replaced if a profession of principal. So her mother brought her child to the county inspector for this, for discussion. Now how the county inspector looked like, we will come to know. He was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. So county inspector is also a robotic, and how it looks, it is small in the size, and it has a red face and whole box of tools, and many tools were there, many like nuts, bolts were there in its whole body, with dials number were there, like as we have dial number on our mobile phone number, even our ATM, when we go in ATM to take the money, to withdraw the money, we see that there are some buttons even in the numeric as well as alphabets. So here the whole structure of county inspector was in a mechanical way, and also wires were there. He smiled at Margie and gave her an apple. Now see, students, the robotic principal, the county inspector, when he found in her chamber that Margie had come, he smiled to see the Margie and gave her an apple. Then took the teacher apart, and the teacher who was a geography teacher who was appointed on Margie, he had been taken away. He had been he was ordered to go away, and let's Margie, the county inspector, and Margie mother, Mrs. Jones, let them discuss with each other. Margie had hoped he wouldn't know how to put it together again, but he knew how, all right. And after an hour or so, there it was again, large and black and ugly, with a big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. Now here, Margie thought that there was some technical issue going on with his mechanical teacher. That's why he was continuously giving test after test of geography. So maybe some technical issue is there. And when we will bring this piece of machine to the county inspector, the county inspector will take some time. It may take some week, 2 week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks to repair it. But the county inspector was so sharp, so intelligent, and instantly he repaired the problem where he was getting some, where the mechanical teacher was getting some issue, and it repaired it. Now, then suddenly who appeared? The after an hour, so there it was again. Who it was again, my dear student? The teacher, the mechanical teacher. Large and black and ugly, very big, and a black color of its body, its outfits, and also it looks so ugly, so bad. A big screen on which all the lessons were shown, and on the screen of the teacher body there was a screen, there was a small television light, and in which screen everything is visible. The chapters, the question answer were asked. That was so bad. The part Margie hated most was that slot where she had to put homework and test paper, and also there was a small slot, a kind of hole is there, a straight hole is there, where whatever she had done, she had to put everything in it. She always had to write them out in punch code. In a punch code, they made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in no time. So there is a kind of equipment where she punch everything. She punch means like that in typing, and she had to deposit each and every file to the mechanical teacher, and on the basis of her performance, her answers of all the questions, then he gave her marks. The inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie head. And patted means like giving her a little bit blessing. Now, when the county inspector had done his job to repair the missing part or some problem part, then he once again passed a smile to Margie and patted her head. He said to her mother, "It's not a little girl's fault. It's not a little girl's fault. Mrs. John, I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick." Means the problem was that the machine got some problem in the geography lesson, and all the geography lessons were only taught in the classroom, and that's why, and it was taught in a very fast mode, in a very high speed, and the student was not able to understand the concept of geography. And because geography requires time to understand, map, explanation, the same thing was happening, but not this time. The geography lessons were going in a very fast way, and the Margie was not able to understand, and that's why the reason that she was not performing very good in the exams or test. Those things happen sometimes. I have slowed it up and an average 10 years level, and now I have decreased the level, I have decreased the position. Now as the computer was running so fast, as the machine was running so fast, so I have leveled it up. Now I have controlled all the things. Now it will teach according to the 10th level. Actually, the overall pattern of the progress is quite satisfactory, and he patted Margie head again, and then after he said that, oh, but rest of geography, all the subjects of Margie were very very superior. She was doing so extraordinary work, and then after he patted again to Margie. Now Margie was disappointed, not happy. She was desperate. She was a little bit angry. She had been hoping, what she was thinking, they would take the teacher away altogether. they had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a 1 month because the history sector had blanked out completely. And now what happened? She was thinking that that my teacher, my geography teacher, my class teacher, mechanical teacher would also be go for a long period of time, would apart from him, would apart from her, and also they would be separate for a long period of time, at least 1 month, as it same happened when there was some mistake, when there was some problem happened with the Tommy's especially subject. In history subject, the teacher, the mechanical teacher go blanked out, all the subject, all the information about the course, about the syllabus had blanked out, the system was crashed, so it took almost 1 month to repair. But here, how unfortunate her luck was that in within 1 hour the mechanical teacher was totally repaired and looking so fine. That's why she was disappointed. So she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?" So she said, she asked generally, "Why would anyone write about school? As the school, as she, whatever she considered about school, she had presented each and everything which she that why she is not liking the school, just because of the fed up teacher, just because of the same pattern of the class. She was totally get bored. There is no one beside her. She was the only in the classroom. Whole day she had to spend. After that, homework is there, and also in home when she was wandering here and there, the teacher was constantly looking at her. So she was seeing that she was behind the bar. She was like kidnapped. She was exhausted. She was in. Seems that she is stuck in somewhere else. That's why she doesn't like school. Tommy looked at her with a very superior eyes, because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is old kind of schools that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago. The Tommy looked in a very superior way that, do you know, this school are not such type of schools where we are studying. These are the schools which we are talking about, which I am reading about. It's hundreds and hundreds years back. He added loftily, in a superior way. Loftily means in superior way, pronouncing the word carefully. Centuries ago, we I am talking about. Margie was hurt. Well, I don't know what kind of school they had all that time ago. She read the book over his shoulder for a while, then said, "Anyway, they had a teacher." Now, what earlier she was not in the mood. She was not in the kind of, we can say, in the feel of reading the chapter or reading the book, but she just gazed. She just peeped through the shoulder of his brother Tommy, and she found that there was a teacher in the school. You see, now he is. You see, students, he is Tommy, and he is Margie. She is Margie, and here this is the old kind of schools where all the students were studying and the teacher was teaching the subject. And how, look at the student face, how joyful they were looking. Maybe definitely the teacher was teaching some nice incidents, some beautiful incidents of the chapter of his own life experience. That's why the students were so happy to see or listen or focus on the teacher. And in the downside, the line is there. They had a teacher, it was a man. She read it. So, my dear students, till here we are going to study it, and what she found, how her perception to hate the school now would be transformed into liking it. How, we will cover it in the next part of the video. Till then, thank you so much. I want you to find out some questions. They are just at the last page of where the chapter is finishing. How old Margie and Tommy, what did Margie write in her diary? How Margie even seen a book before? Had Margie ever seen a book before? What things about the books did she find strange? What type of she found that that this book is so totally strange just because of this book is on school. The title, the main motto of the book is the life cycle of school. So these are the very simple questions I want your answer, and in next video we will meet soon, and whatever your doubts we will come to know by various things, and then we will finish the chapter. Thank you so much students for be with me.